Well, good afternoon there, everybody, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back here on day 16 of the series we're doing for the month of September, which is the Other Prog War. So basically we're doing some kind of obscure prog bands from all different parts of the world. Many of them not even English speaking. We decided to do this route, me and Ben, because I wanted to give more attention to some of those other prog bands that, for whatever reason, they didn't quite make it big. Either maybe they came out a little bit too late for that first prog scene, or maybe they didn't get the right manager that didn't put them in the right places at the right time, or maybe the albums were murky, or the band may have had personnel issues where people wouldn't stay, or maybe they were big in their country and not outside of their country. Maybe the language was a barrier. There's all kinds of different reasons why some of these bands didn't make it big. But the fact is that most of them are obscure and most people won't know them. I got a thing on my screen there, okay. So anyways, this one was supposed to come out on day 14, but I had a hard time finding one of the albums. It's an Italian progressive rock band that I had a difficulty finding the album, and I don't even know that I did yet. I found the album information and everything, but I think I had to not download, but listen to each track individually on YouTube or find it here and there to try and put together the album. So that took a bit of time today. That's why this video is late. I could have done this yesterday, but I like to eat. That's one of my problems, is I like to have my meals, and if I did that, I wouldn't have had time to eat. So that's where it is. So anyways, the album is ready to go. I've listened to the two combatants here for day 16, battle number 16. This is the end of the first round as well. I'm just going to move this open just a slight bit more. There you go. Because my head is disappearing, but I still want Audrey in the picture. Okay, so I'm going to probably screw up these names. At least I will screw up the first one because it's an Italian name, a lot of words in here. My Italian is not very good, so I apologize to people of Italian extract who I'm about to bastardize their language. Nothing to do with the language. Language is fine. It's the guy doing it that's the problem. So anyways, let's make the attempt. So this band is called Il Rovescio. I had this right earlier. Il Rovescio Della Madaglia. And the album is Contaminina, I believe. Contaminazione. Boy, I really screwed that one up. Anyways, might be difficult to find anyways, no matter what. So I listened to this album in bits and pieces, and so I don't get an overall kind of feel for the album. Well, I got a bit of an overall feel, but I don't have the... Sometimes I think when an album is structured together, it's put together in a certain way, so you get a certain feeling by listening to it in that sequence. That's one of the reasons why I prefer albums over individual songs, and I almost never listen to the internet unless I have to for this show. Normally, I almost never, and I never listen to the radio. Basically, the stuff you see behind me, that's what I listen to. I may listen to the internet to hear an album to see if it's something I'm interested in, and then I go buy it. That's just the way I am. Not going to change now. I like that way. I like having my stuff. This is my stuff. So if my internet goes down, my stuff is still here on the back, and I can listen to it. And that's what I like to do. I'd like to do a lot more of this, but as you know, everything costs money, so you have to pick and choose. It's been that way since I started collecting albums. It'll probably be that way when I stop. So anyways, this album was released in 1973, and it's an Italian progressive rock album. So I found it very apt. I found that he used the synthesizers and noises to create an atmosphere. I don't know if he was doing that because it's supposed to be in that sequence, or that's just the style of music he has. Some great guitar parts on this album. This album, the first thing that I noticed about this album is how clear and how crisp sounding this album is, and everything on it is just absolutely perfect. The production is very good as well. Some catchy riffs and melodies throughout this whole album. I love the guitar, really good. The bass and the violin, he does use a lot in different tracks. And I'm not going to give you the names of the tracks because I had a hard enough time pronouncing the name of the band. I don't want to bastardize the rest of the album. But there are a lot of really good violin parts, a lot of very good, some like other instruments as well, like the bass. The bass is really catchy on this album. Very operatic singing though. All the singing on this album, his voice is clear. He sings in Italian, very clear, very operatic. You know, it actually sounds perfect because I think of Italian as being the voice of opera. You know, that's the way I think of it. So really strong vocals here. The guitar and the organ were very strong on some of these tracks. Harmony vocals are good as well. I did like the acoustic guitar on one particular track, La Mia Musica. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to, but because it's just one particular track. It had some guitar song on it as well. Keyboards and drums built into this song as well. The one song, the title track of the Contaminina, almost has a movie score sound to it. I don't know if it is, but it had that sound that you get from a movie score. Lots of that. Excellent guitar and keyboards. So the overall feeling I get for this album is that it's very operatic. It has a lot of progressive elements to its music, but I think it leans more towards that operatic sound, and lots of like operatic instrumentation, violins, piano, synthesizers, all those things in this album, quite a bit. If you like that really operatic sound, I'm trying to think of a band that does that I can compare them to, but I don't really hear anybody else in this music, so I can't really compare it. It's very good. Not really my style, mostly because I'm not a huge operatic type of person. The other thing is the vocals, although great, I can't understand what he's saying, and that I have a problem with that. That's my problem, though. That's not the music. The music is great. I think if I took time to learn the language, and I have learned some languages in the past that I have become a little more comfortable using, but this is not one of them. So it might take a while for me to get into this. But overall, I didn't think it was a bad album. The second album in the battle is called Werewolf, and the album is called, the band is called Werewolf. The album is called Creation, from 1982. I hope I got these the right way, because it could be Creation and the album is Werewolf. I could have gotten it wrong, but I don't think I did. The album cover, very green landscape with the water flowing through it. There is a rock on one side, like a mountainside, with a face carved into it, like you would see on Mount Rushmore, that type of thing. And then in the forefront, you have a lady with a dog and all kinds of little rocks below her. And then right below that, at the bottom, it says Werewolf Creation. I hope I got this right, but I might not have. There are some strong melodies, a lot of guitar solos and synthesizer solos on this particular album. Bass and rhythm, the bass and drum section are decent rhythm and melodies. They add an element to this music quite a bit. There's one song with a heavy classical guitar bit, which I really enjoyed quite a bit. The vocals are female primarily, but there is a male vocalist as well, and he does sing on his own a bit, but basically they kind of, it's not a harmony vocal. They don't sing together. She kind of sings her part, he kind of sings his part. They're kind of different parts too, so but they're not, neither of them are bad. There's nothing special about either of their voices to distinguish them. She's a high voice, like a soprano, and he's probably more in the alto range, I would think. A lot of somber acoustic guitar bits. The album has a kind of almost a British sound to their music, I guess. I'm not sure if they're British. I didn't see any indications. There is some flute. It gives a feeling of a woodland setting, which would suit the album. That's the feeling I got. It's a very pastoral album that way. The sounds are a little heavier than you would get on something that you might consider pastoral. Overall, I found this very good. Now, I remember now. This band, I believe, are German. I think they're German. And that would make sense because there's some German titles to some of the songs here. Daydream. So you've got Der Akla Tag. Der Akla Tag. I can't pronounce it. Sorry. Anyways, I think they were German, and they might even have been a krautrock band, but I'm not 100% sure. But some really good stuff here. This is an album I think is one of those headphone albums. Needs to be listened to. Lie down, listen to it, and enjoy what you're hearing. And I think the other album is the same way too. I think both of these albums, in fairness to both of them, more time and more listening to them will probably make both of them expand and grow. That's what you need to, if you're going to get into this album, the first one and the second one here, you need to be able to spend more than one listen to them. It's got to be a dozen or so listens, and they will grow. I think both of them will grow on you. That's the sense I get from both albums. The Werewolf album was released in 1982, so it has about 9 years. But for a 73 album, this is it. The Della Madaglia album sounds really, really good, really clear. So I had to choose one. It wasn't really as close as maybe I've given the impression. I definitely enjoyed the Werewolf album more, and it will be the one going on. But the other album, I think, given 2 or 3 listens and get the album, actually have the physical album so I can listen to it, would get rid of the language barrier, probably would get rid of the frustration of looking for bits and pieces of it. I like everything in one package. That's the way I am. So, yeah, if I had that, it probably could have done a little better. In time, I think it would do a little bit better as I got to listen to it more too. But overall, I did enjoy both. But Werewolf is the one going on. So that is it for the first round. All 16 winners are in place. Now Ben will reshuffle them and put them in the order that he wants to put them in for starting tomorrow, round 2. And I hope you will make your comments about if you've had a chance to listen to any of the albums. Make your comments below. You know, don't correct me on my Italian. I already have enough issues. So yeah, so please do that, and please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. The second round of videos will probably be a little bit shorter. The videos, most of these ones have been upwards of 12 minutes or more. That's because there's so much to digest the first time through. Second time through, not as much smoother transition. I'm hoping to keep the videos between 7 to 10 minutes in length at the most in the second round, and I think it'll go faster and better, and I'm hoping to get them all out at 8 a.m. in the morning. That's my goal, but sometimes that isn't always possible when you're looking for stuff that you've not heard before and you still have to listen to it. So anyways, I hope you have a good day. and we will see you again. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow with the beginning of round 2. Take care.